The next kind of factoring I want to talk about is factoring trinomials. And if you look at my title up here, I wrote A equals 1. Again, we're looking at a very specific type of trinomial. So I taught you common factoring, and then I taught you factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping had 4 terms. Trinomials have 3 terms. Now I want you to look at the form that I've written here. I wrote something called ax squared plus bx plus c. And it's really important that you realize that it goes x squared, x, and a number. Okay, so when you're looking to factor a trinomial, you want to make sure that it's kind of got x squared, x, and then a number. And if you look here, I have an a, a b, and a c. The a, b, and c represent the numbers that are in front. Well, the a and b are the coefficients, and the c is the constant, the last number there. Now that doesn't make a lot of sense to you at the moment. It will, don't worry. Okay, I'm going to, as I go through and explain it. I've got 4 quick little steps written up here. The first step I have is write, and literally I want you to put a couple sets of parentheses and an x and an x. The second step is find factors of c that add to b. A lot of you might be like, what the heck does that mean? Don't worry, we're going to walk through the procedure, and I want to kind of explain why the procedure works. Step 3, write those factors after the x's. Again, seems a little strange if you haven't ever seen factoring before. In step 4, you're going to multiply and check your answer. Okay, now what in the heck is he talking about here? It seems like there's a little craziness going on. All right, I have written up above here just a problem, okay? It's a problem that you did last week where you're multiplying binomials. So I have x plus 2 times x plus 4. I want to multiply that a second. And remember, you're using FOIL or double distributive. X times x is x to the second. X times 4, well that is 4x. And then 2 times x, that's 2x. And 2 times 4, that's 8. Now, we're not done with this because we've got to combine these middle terms. And that gives me x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now, I want you to examine this. I've got x squared plus 6x plus 8. 3 terms. And I want to write underneath it ax squared plus bx plus c. You see, remember what I said. In math, we teach you how to do something, and we teach you how to undo it. Teach you how to multiply. The opposite of multiplying was dividing. We taught you how to add. The opposite of adding is subtracting. When you multiply these out, look at your answer here. You get a trinomial. Look at this trinomial. What's the value of a? Well, if there's nothing written in front of the variable, the value of a is 1 here. What's the value of b? The value of b is 6 because the 6 in the b position. What's the value of c? The value of c is 8. Okay? So I want you to realize that, hey, the reason we want our answer to look like this is because when you get a trinomial, it had to be 2 binomials that were multiplied together. The second thing is that the value, we're just dealing with things that are x squareds. We're not dealing with anything that's got a number in front of that x squared other than the understood 1. So if I write up here ax squared plus bx plus c, what's the value of a? The value of a is 1. What's the value of b? The value of b is 8. What's the value of c? The value of c is 15. Okay. Now that we've kind of seen that what you multiply out will turn into a trinomial, and that trinomial will fit into that form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's see if we can work it backwards. Let's see if we can figure out what binomial was multiplied, binomial times a binomial was multiplied to give us this trinomial. All right, so we've got this right here, and we figured out the values of a, b, and c. We're going to need to be able to do that to follow these steps. Step 1. Well, step 1 is kind of mindless. Put the parentheses up there and put the x's in there. Step 2 is critical. Find factors of c that multiply to bb. The factors of c that add to bb. So, 15 has factors. When we multiply, let's see, 1 times 15 is a set of factors. 3 times 5 is a set of factors. And I don't want to exclude negative numbers. Negative 1 times negative 15 is a set of factors. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a set of factors. Step 2 says find factors of c that add to b. Which set? These are all the things that multiply to be positive 15. But when I add them up, there's only one set that adds up to b. The b value is 8, and that's 3 and 5. So I'm going to write plus 3 and plus 5. I wrote pluses here because these were positive numbers. Had they been negative numbers, I would have written minuses. The last step. Now I'm going to erase these factors, but I want to multiply and check it. This here is the right answer, but we're just going to check it and be sure. So I'm going to multiply these binomials, x times x, x to the second, x times 5, 5x, and then 3 times x, 3x, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now, I know I've done a lot of explaining on this one. When you add 3x and 5x, it is 8x. So there's x squared plus 8x plus 15. I got a match. I got back to my original. This is the right answer. Now some people look and they say, why are we finding factors of c that add to b? That seems like it's a little crazy. Well, think about it. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5, 15. 5x and 3x, what did we do with the 5 and the 3 to get the middle term? We added them. We multiply these n numbers to get the last term, and we end up adding these middle numbers to get the middle term. That's why we follow this process.